Helm, standard orbit.
Greetings, Hyunh. I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Captain, how may I assist you?
What brings an archaeologist of your stature to such a remote planet?
I am excavating the ruins of a Chodak outpost. The Federation Archaeological Survey is sponsoring my work.
Who are the Chodak?
An ancient race. At their peak, the Chodak occupied most of what is now the Romulan Empire. But I thought all known Chodak ruins were on the other side of the neutral zone.
This is the first Chodak site found in Federation space. It was my good fortune to discover it.
What have you found so far?
A great deal, actually. I have uncovered evidence of an extensive administrative system, as well as examples of Chodak computer technology quite similar to our own isolinear rods.
Intriguing. Such devices would be among the oldest known examples of isolinear technology in the galaxy.
I hope to confirm that fact. I sent several rods to the Mertens orbital station for testing. They've developed a gravitic stress dating method which is extremely accurate. However, I have not yet received their results.
Hyunh, we have several Garidian refugees aboard who are trying to find something called the Fifth Scroll. They said you might be able to help.
Possibly. I once did extensive research on the Lawgiver and the Followers. They fled into what is now Federation space 1,000 years ago, bearing the Fifth Scroll with them.
We've heard of them. So where did these followers go?
I never found the Followers' colony, but your friends should not lose hope. In my search, I stumbled on one of the Followers' ancient ships. The logs indicated that they had found an M-class planet suitable for colonization.
I'm afraid we have got some bad news for you, Hyunh. Mertens station has been attacked. It was almost completely destroyed.
Indeed. That is a great loss.
I'd be most eager to examine the site myself. I can beam down immediately.
Captain, I'm aware of your reputation as an archaeologist, but I cannot permit any visitors. The excavation is far too delicate. My apologies.
Thank you for your help, Hyunh. Good luck.
And to you, Captain. Live long and prosper.
What are your orders, Captain?
Set course for the Ruinor sector and resume our patrol along the neutral zone.
Yes, sir.
Engage. Any suggestions, number one?
I'm sorry, Captain, I don't have any suggestions right now.
Mr. Worf, your analysis.
Captain, we should check our orders from Starfleet.
Mr. Data, any suggestions?
I suggest we contact Starfleet, Captain.
Counselor, do you have any thoughts?
I'm sorry, Captain, but I don't have any suggestions right now.
Captain, message from Starfleet. It is Admiral Redrick.
On screen. Greetings, Admiral. What can we do for you?
Jean-Luc, good to see you again. I have a little favor to ask. Would you be interested in finding a little lost lamb for me?
A lamb?
A figure of speech. I have a friend stationed on Morassia, an exobiologist. I haven't heard from her in quite a while. I'm getting a little worried. I'd like you to check into it if you can.
Who exactly is this lost lamb?
Her name is Dr. Hyunh Foerstch. She was on Morassia cataloging local species for the Federation Zoological Database, but no one's seen her for days.
Have the local authorities investigated the matter?
Constable Lixie, who runs the preserve, thinks V went on a field trip and that there's nothing to worry about. To humor me, she said I should send a team to investigate.
Admiral, do you have any reason to suspect foul play?
The truth? V is headstrong. She might be chasing butterflies. But I think there's more to it than that. And Jean-Luc. Morassia is applying for Federation membership. You could review the state of affairs there while you're looking for our exobiologist.
Very well. As soon as we receive your report, we'll get underway.
I'll transmit it immediately. Oh, and Jean-Luc, the Morassians have a strict matriarchal society. Males are usually treated as servants at best. Don't take it personally.
Understood, sir.
Good luck. Redrick out.
Laying a course for Morassia, Warp 5.
Yes, sir.
Engage.
Entering non-aligned space.
Helm, standard orbit.
Captain's log supplemental. The Enterprise has arrived at Morassia to investigate the disappearance of Dr. Hyunh Foerstch, an exobiologist stationed here for the past 2 years. The 3 species native to this world have enjoyed a millennium of peaceful cooperation, and this visit will give us the opportunity to review Morassia's petition for membership in the Federation. It's time we introduced ourselves. Mr. Worf, hail Constable Lixie.
Aye, Captain.
I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard with the Federation Starship Enterprise. We have come to investigate the disappearance of Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
Welcome to Morassia. As I told Admiral Redrick, I really don't think Dr. Hyunh Foerstch is in any danger. She's probably on an extended field trip.
Good. We'll need your beam-down coordinates.
I shall transmit them. And Captain, in order to protect the animals in the preserve, we permit no weapons of any kind on the surface.
Out-of-way teams carry phasers for self-defense only. They can be locked on a low stun setting. I assure you none of your animals will be harmed.
I'm sorry, Captain. I won't allow it. We cannot predict how even your lowest setting will affect our animals.
We will respect your laws. The away team will not be armed.
For a male, you are unusually cooperative.
Is there any better way to begin a relationship?
Forgive me, Captain. I am not accustomed to seeing a male in command. I will await your investigators.
Beam down coordinates selected.
Visitors for Constable Lixie. Constable Lixie is present.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Data of the Starship Enterprise. I'm investigating the absence of Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
Welcome. So you are the artificial human. Interesting. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there really is no need for alarm. Dr. Hyunh Foerstch is probably just on an extended field trip.
Who were the last people to see the doctor?
Apparently, Consultant Idia was the last to see her. They had dinner or some such. It's all in my report. You should be able to access it through your tricorder.
If the doctor had been injured somewhere in the preserve, would you be able to locate her?
Of course, but our surveillance system can detect signs of distress in any of our inhabitants, and we've had no sign of trouble from the doctor.
The preserve clearly embodies your philosophy of life forms living within life forms to create a single harmonious organism. It is an impressive achievement.
Very observant, Commander. Your perceptiveness does you credit.
Your tone suggests that you do not like Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
She hasn't made many friends here. She disagrees openly with our philosophy, our methods, and has even accused us of smuggling banned species.
I would like to investigate the preserve grounds where the doctor last worked.
We'd prefer to limit the number of outsiders in the preserve while it is under construction. Investigating the doctor's laboratory should be sufficient.
A thorough investigation of the doctor's disappearance will require me to enter the preserve. Furthermore, the Federation Council has requested a review of Morassia. Unhindered access will allow me to prepare a far more detailed report.
The Federation's requests are not law here. Not yet. But in the interests of cooperation, I'll open up the area surrounding my outpost. Be sure to stay within the visitors' areas. You must understand, my responsibility to the animals comes first.
I have no more questions for you at this time. May I investigate the doctor's quarters?
Of course. Her laboratory quarters are at the end of the path towards the mountains.
Visitors for Constable Lixie. Constable Lixie is present.
This paramammalian species has been cryogenically preserved for medical analysis. The insectivore is possibly a member of the Talpidae family. It is possible that this animal is an Akana boar from the planet Jervis. It is possible that this animal is an Akana boar from the planet Jervis. I do not believe that will work. The computer is a Birkin 400K model from Arguello 9. The system is accessed by voice print or password. The biotable incorporates bioassay hardware to analyze specimens and perform scans. It is a sonic scope. It uses acoustic resonances to analyze molecular structures.
The doctor was only supposed to be cataloging species. What would she be doing with these carcasses? I wonder what was so interesting about these carcasses. Let's get them on the biotable. I'd like to do a sonic scan.
There must be something unusual about these carcasses, or the doctor would not have kept them. I recommend full biological and sonic scans.
Marked as a Kujan gibbon. Probable cause of death is massive infection by Nacharov parasite. This parasite is not native to the Kujan's habitat. marked as a myocordae mole. Probable cause of death is neural energy loss. Subject is marked as a Frednorian boar. Probable cause of death is malnutrition.
I am not certain this is a Frednorian boar. I believe it may be an Akana boar, a close genetic relative.
I wonder what was so interesting about these carcasses. Let's get them on the bio table. I'd like to do a sonic scan.
Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. All readings are normal. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's genetic signature differs from its identification tag. Subject is an Akana boar. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's neural pathways have been drained of electrical energy.
Dr. Hyunh Foerstch's computer logs might tell us what she was doing before she disappeared.
I do not believe that will work. A massive computer fragmentation has erased the doctor's files. The only salvageable message from her daily log is sessions with Tracker Melas canceled. Schedule again after field trip. I do not believe that will work.
I think we should contact Tracker Melas.
I'd like to contact Tracker Melas. She may have been the last person to see the doctor.
Open a channel to Tracker Melas.
Channels open.
I am Lieutenant Commander Data of the Starship Enterprise. I'm investigating the absence of Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
Greetings. I doubt that she is in any danger. She's probably just taking a vacation after her blow-up with Constable Lixie.
We found your name in the doctor's laboratory. What is your relationship with her?
I teach her territorial recognition. At least I did. We suspended our lessons after the power outages began. I haven't seen her since, but I doubt she's lost. Such an excellent tracker, even if she is a bit weak in the nose.
You mentioned power outages. Can you describe them in greater detail?
A power surge at our quarantine shelter destroyed some of the generators. 2 watchers were seriously injured and several animals escaped. Since then, we've had outages in the biotopes. They're still under investigation.
Without the generator, the individual containment fields in the shelter will not function. You would no longer be able to quarantine any animals for analysis or adaptation.
That's right. Most of our personnel are out searching for escaped animals right now. Dr. Hyunh Foerstch might be doing that on her own.
I have some questions regarding several animal carcasses which we found in the doctor's laboratory.
Of course.
The boar's identity tag is incorrect. It is actually an Akana boar, a close genetic relative of the Frednorian. However, Akana are banned for import. How did this animal get into the preserve?
That's one of the new arrivals from the second shipment. Maybe there was an error. You know, we've had a number of minor problems with creatures from that shipment.
A creature tagged as a Frednorian boar apparently died of starvation. Do you know how this could have occurred?
Hard to say. The Watchers are quite good. I can't imagine they'd just let this happen. Maybe they were given the wrong care instructions, or maybe the animal was not identified correctly.
A creature tagged as a Kujan gibbon died of a parasitic infection not found in its native habitat. How could this have occurred?
I don't know. The Watchers are the ones who care for the animals. Maybe they can help you.
One creature experienced an energy drain within its neural pathways. It is untagged but appeared to be a mole of some sort.
It's probably a Myocordae mole. They're quite common on Morassia, but I've never heard of one dying like this before.
Its cause of death is unusual, but not unprecedented. I have personally encountered a species that consumed human neural energy for survival. Is there a preserve animal that might feed on Myocordae neural energy?
None that I know of. Perhaps the Myocordae got caught in one of the generator power surges, but then it wouldn't be drained of energy. I don't know.
This blow-up you mentioned, do you mean the constable and the doctor had an argument?
Dr. Hyunh Foerstch discovered that several animals from Aramut's second shipment were illegal species which had been mistagged. I think she accused the constable of smuggling, but I'm not sure. Healer Zolas told me the story.
What exactly are the Watchers' responsibilities?
The Watchers feed and care for the preserved species.
Thank you for your time.
I wish you well on your search.
It's possible the constable felt that telling us about her argument with the doctor would arouse our suspicions. But why would she withhold information about the escapes?
I'd like to ask the constable about those power outages Melas mentioned.
It's strange that Constable Lixie didn't mention the power outages. We should talk to her about it, even though I doubt she trusts us.
Has there been any contact?
No, I'm afraid not.
Constable, I would like to know why Dr. Hyunh Foerstch accused you of smuggling.
She found a Romulan creature, which is, of course, banned from import by Federation law. It was tagged as a similar legal species. She has accused me of smuggling it in order to damage our chances for Federation membership.
How do you explain the mistagged animal?
I blame our supplier, Aramut. He's rude, devious, and barely competent. If I'd known Aramut was a Ferengi, I'd never have listened to Idia's recommendation. But the contract is binding, and he does deliver on time.
Constable, I understand the Preserve has been experiencing some unusual power outages.
Those were just a few temperamental generators failing. They've been repaired. Is the Federation now concerned with our internal technical difficulties as well?
Why do you oppose Federation membership?
Membership in the Federation would compromise Morassia's freedom of action. Some of us would rather not see that happen.
I appreciate your candor.
You impress me, Commander. It's strange that your creator confined you in the male form. Still, you compensate well.
I believe the constable. She seems genuinely devoted to the Preserve, and I don't think she would resort to smuggling, even to thwart Federation membership. Both Melas and the constable mentioned Dr. Idia. Let's contact him.
Open the channel to Consultant Idia.
Channels open.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Data of the Starship Enterprise. I'm investigating the absence of Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
As I told Constable Lixie, I don't know where she is. Must you interrupt my research with more pointless questions?
I'm afraid so. According to the Constable's report, you are the preserve's consultant.
Yes, I helped select and verify preserved species in the biotopes. The Morassians wanted a Federation expert despite Lixie's objections. They were lucky to get me.
You were the last to see Dr. Hyunh Foerstch before her disappearance?
As far as I know, that's not a crime.
Constable Lixie mentioned that you recommended the Ferengi trader Aramut for the second shipment.
He delivers what you want on time. The constable gave me hell when she found out that he was a Ferengi. She barely tolerates me because I'm a male.
I have some questions regarding several animal carcasses which we found in the doctor's laboratory.
Animal carcasses in an exobiology lab? Well, that's certainly unusual.
A creature tagged as a Frednorian boar apparently died of starvation. Do you know how this could have occurred?
Sounds like incompetence to me. The Watchers blindly follow whatever care instructions they're given. No personal initiative at all.
The boar's identity tag is incorrect. It is actually an Akana boar, a close genetic relative of the Frednorian. However, Akana are banned for import. How did this animal get into the preserve?
It must have been smuggled in. You know, the Watchers have requested restricted species before and were denied. Dr. Hyunh Foerstch must have found out about it.
Consultant, I am puzzled. Since you verify preserved species, you must have known this was an Akana. Why did you not report the misidentification?
I didn't want to. I wanted the chance to study it. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Who am I to deprive science of my brilliant research on such a specimen?
Did the doctor confront any of the Watchers with her suspicions?
I think that's why she's missing. When she confronted them with the Akana, they must have stunned her. Those stunners don't trigger the surveillance system, so nobody knows about it.
Why would the Watchers resort to smuggling?
They're fanatics out to save the endangered creatures of the universe. I've suspected them all along, especially when I discovered this mistagging. You see, these tags can only be reprogrammed by a Watcher.
A creature tagged as a Kujan gibbon died of a parasitic infection not found in its native habitat. How could this have occurred?
I'd say it died of neglect. Those Watchers don't know the first thing about dealing with animals. They're not scientists. They're glorified zookeepers. Why don't you go ask them about it?
A Mycordae mole experienced an electrical drain from its neural pathways. How could this have occurred?
I'd say it died of neglect. Those Watchers don't know the first thing about dealing with animals. They're not scientists. They're glorified zookeepers. Why don't you go ask them about it?
I'd like to know what you and the doctor discussed.
When I saw her for supper the other day, she was talking about genetic samples from the last shipment. She knows I don't like to hear people talk while I eat, so she said little else.
But Dr. Hyunh Foerstch was cataloging Morassian species exclusively. Why would she want genetic samples from other animals in the preserve?
I don't concern myself with the lab work of junior scientists. Now, do you mind? I have important research to conduct.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for wasting it.
Idia's accusation that the Watchers are fanatics is certainly plausible. Collectors can be quite zealous in their pursuit of rare specimens.
Idia certainly has a high opinion of himself. The thing he seemed most interested in was his reputation.
Dr. Hyunh Foerstch found in the biotopes.
Let's go out to the biotopes and see what these field units bring back.
This Class A field unit is configured for rocky terrain and torrid climate zones. This Class C field unit is configured for aquatic travel. This Class B field unit is configured for mountainous terrain and tropical climate zones. This microgenerator has a thermally rechargeable power source. This is a topographical map of the biotope. The main habitats are within the jelly corals and the water. The field unit is stalled. It is not configured for this biotope. This Class C field unit is configured for aquatic travel. That is unnecessary. That is unnecessary.
We'll never be able to cover that much area ourselves, but the field units are programmed for it, and they're much faster.
Dr. Hyunh Foerstch programmed these field units to search for specific information. Let's send them out and see what they bring back.
There is no sample in this field unit. If there were, we could extract it with a bioprobe. This micro... This is a topographical map of the biotope. The main habitats are the 4 tunnels within that petrified tree. There is no sample in this field unit. If there were, we could extract it with a bioprobe. This is a topographical map of the biotope. The main habitats are the caverns, the pit, and the crater.
Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. All readings are normal. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's genetic signature differs from its identification tag. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's genetic signature differs from its identification tag. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's neural pathways have been drained of electrical energy. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's neural pathways have been drained of electrical energy. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. All readings are normal. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's neural pathways have been drained of electrical energy. Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject contains high ionic residue and trace amounts of neurotranquilizers. Originating creature may consume energy.
I would like to take a sonic scan of these samples.
Diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's genetic signature differs from its identification tag. diagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. All readings are normal. Seriodiagnostic tests and cell density analysis complete. Subject's neural pathways have been drained of electrical energy.
I'd like to talk to Healer Zolis.
Open a channel to Healer Zolis.
Channels open.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Data of the Starship Enterprise. I'm investigating the absence of Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
A Starfleet officer. I was expecting this.
Tracker Melas indicated that you knew of a confrontation between Dr. Hyunh Foerstch and the Constable.
Yes, the doctor mentioned it when she asked about Aramet. He's a Ferengi who provides us with alien species for the preserve.
Was she inquiring about mistagged animals from his shipment?
Yes, she had spoken to Zudan, one of the 3 watchers in charge of the last shipment. He told her to talk to Aramet.
On several occasions, the Watchers requested restricted species and were denied. Is it possible that Aramet was secretly supplying the Watchers with illegal species?
Aramet has a rather unsavory reputation. The Watchers wouldn't have anything to do with someone like that. But you can ask Zudan yourself.
Did Consultant Idia know of Aramet's reputation when he recommended him for a traitor?
Considering how long Idia and Aramet have known each other, I would think so. Those two go back quite a while. I think Idia even came here on Aramet's ship.
Did the other Watchers also tell her to speak to Aramet?
I doubt it. The other Watchers were at the quarantine shelter and suffered some kind of neural energy drain when the generators exploded. They've been comatose ever since. Zudan's the only Watcher on duty now.
We have found several animals which suffered energy drains. Perhaps we could compare neuroscans to see if the injuries are similar.
I'll send you the Watcher's neuroscans. You can view them on the bio table, but I recommend you speak to Watcher Zudan. You can find him at the quarantine shelter.
Thank you for your time.
Certainly. Good luck to you.
Idia was the last to see Dr. Hyunh Foerstch before she disappeared. Idia is friends with a Ferengi, and Ferengi traders are not known for their honor. Perhaps Idia is guilty.
The Watchers suffered an electrical energy drain from their neural pathways, like the Myocorde mole. The Watchers suffered an electrical energy drain from their neural pathways, like the Myocorde mole.
I'd like to hear what Zudan knows about Dr. Hyunh Foerstch, as well as the situation in the preserve.
Open a channel to Grower Inongo.
Channels to Grower Inongo are closed indefinitely.
Zudan's a keeper of the preserve. He must have heard about the smuggling, and I'd be curious to see what else he knows.
We should speak with Zudan.
Has there been any contact with Dr. Hyunh Foerstch?
No, I'm afraid not.
Has there been any contact with Dr. Hyunh Foerstch?
No, I'm afraid not.
The computer is a BAT 4003, an obsolete Milosian model. It has been modified for hand and foot operation.
Visitors for Constable Lixie. Constable Lixie is present.
I acknowledge your curiosity. Please do not disturb the privacy of my files.
I am Lieutenant Commander Data of the Starship Enterprise. I'm investigating the absence of Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
I'm responsible for preserve animals, not Federation scientists.
I understand the doctor spoke to you of her concerns regarding smuggling in the preserve.
Yes, she came here soon after the outages, ranting away. Imagine, accusing me, when I'm the one who told her about that Bohr mistagging.
What creature was in this area?
A 2-meter-long, 180-kilogram Sultus reptile, which came in on the last shipment. I found the watchers next to its cage the night of the outages. It's still missing.
My readings show traces of a tranquilizing agent in its waste.
Aramet always doses his animals with neurotranquilizers, just like Idia. We had to feed the reptile intravenously for days. It finally woke up right before the accident, just in time to escape.
These readings share the same ionic residue as samples found near other creatures drained of electrical energy. And this cage is also next to the drain generator. Perhaps the Sultus reptile is a mistagged animal that consumes electrical energy.
But there were no reports of it being seen near any of the power outages, and that reptile isn't easy to miss. Unless it's found a way to turn itself invisible, you're going to need another theory.
We have encountered several species capable of phasing out of the time continuum and, in effect, becoming invisible. We have also encountered species who consumed human neural energy. The Sultus reptile may be a life form with similar characteristics.
Well, if you believe so, I suppose it's possible.
I have examined the neuroscans of the injured watchers. The electrical energy within their neural pathways has decreased significantly. How could that have happened?
I don't know. During my evening rounds, I found them unconscious next to the Sultus reptile cage. I carried them outside the shelter and was going for help when the generators exploded.
When did you last see Dr. Hyunh Foerstch?
I haven't seen her for some time. I've been busy recovering animals which escaped during the power outages. It's not easy work. The last time I saw her, I sent her to talk to Aramet.
Were you the one who found the carcass?
Yes. It died just before the outages, and I wanted her to test it.
Why did you not ask Consultant Idia to test the carcass?
I don't trust him. Always drugging and borrowing animals for his experiments. In the interests of science, he says. I don't know how he could have approved that mistagging in the first place.
Do the Watcher's stunners set off the preserve surveillance system?
The system only detects signs of distress. Normal sleep does not raise an alarm. Likewise, stunners and neurotranquilizers also don't alert the system. Unlike Idia and Aramet, we prefer stunners. Chemical sedation can be harmful.
Consultant Idia mentioned that only Watchers can change the ID tags.
That's true, but the suppliers tag the animals first. We just match them up with the constable's shipping orders. Idia is responsible for verifying them.
Is it true that the Watchers' requests for restricted species were rejected?
Only 4 species out of 112. Of course, we were upset at first, but once the preserve is completed, we can always try again.
Thank you for your time.
Watch your step now.
Idia persuaded the constable to use Aramet, and Idia is also capable of verifying mistagged species. And he had the neurotranquilizers to knock out Dr. Hyunh Foerstch if she posed a threat to him. Only stunners or drugs could disable someone without setting off the surveillance systems. Idia has a supply of neurotranquilizers.
I'd like to see how Constable Lixie reacts to what we've discovered.
Constable, we have reason to believe that Consultant Idia smuggled rare species into the preserve through his friend Aramut.
Are you trying to pick up where Dr. Hyunh Foerstch left off? She accused nearly everyone else of the same thing.
Consultant Idia persuaded you to hire Aramut, and he knowingly verified mistagged animals. He also uses neurotranquilizers, which could have stunned Dr. Hyunh Foerstch without triggering your surveillance systems.
Idia's been nothing but trouble since he got here. This time he's gone too far. I'll send for him so we can settle this once and for all.
Please wait here until Constable Lixie returns.
Constable, we asked Consultant Idia to go to your office. He went to get some items, then suddenly beamed out. He seems to be gone.
He must have called Aramut for help. The Ferengi has a subspace transporter. See if you can find Dr. Hyunh Foerstch.
There's a woman here asleep with a gag over her mouth. Maybe she knows.
That's her, you idiot. Wake her and send her here. And have a look around Idia's office while you're there. He might have left some evidence.
Have you captured Idia?
No. Unfortunately, he escaped with Aramut. This Federation team was sent to find you. Perhaps they can help.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Data of the Enterprise. We will apprehend Idia and Aramut.
Forget them. We have to recapture the Mistag Sultus. It's already killed dozens of animals and destroyed several containment field generators.
The creature must be captured. Constable, can we use the force field at the quarantine shelter?
The shelter force field will not help us. The creature escaped once, and it will escape again.
Perhaps we can rephase the force field energy frequencies. The creature may not be able to adapt quickly enough to the changes.
That might work. But the only place we can rephase the force field power is at the main power grid.
I will go to the main power grid and perform the necessary modifications.
Good. The power grid is on the other side of the preserve. Take one of the shuttles.
I hate to interrupt, but just how are we supposed to lure this creature back to the shelter?
Since the creature requires energy, we can attempt to channel all available energy into the shelter generators. The creature should be attracted to it.
We can't. We're using all our energy reserves to maintain the biotopes.
The harmonic collector is capable of emitting high-energy EM fields. We may be able to use it at the shelter.
Yes, that should do it. V, I'll send one of the Watchers with you to the shelter to help set it up. If we can get the field power rephased, we might get that thing under control. I'll stay and monitor the situation from here.
We have to get to the power grid quickly. Our only chance is the shuttle bay.
No unusual readings. The utility trunk controls the field energy distribution to the waveguide conduit networks.
The energy fields are responding. Frequency phasing complete.
Constable, has the harmonic collector been arranged?
Yes, but Dr. Hyunh Foerstch needs your help with the quarantine shelter. The only watchers I could find are needed to oversee the other biotopes.
We will be there.
Just one more thing. Zudan tells me those generators won't hold up for long, and we can't afford to send much power to the shelter right now. Many biotopes are already on reserve power only.
We will review the situation at the shelter when we arrive. Where will you be?
I'll be controlling electrical systems from my office. Then I have to call an emergency meeting of the Morassian Constabulary to explain just what's going on.
Have you devised a means to trap the creature?
It's all set up, but I need you to operate those consoles while I keep an eye on the creature from here.
What do you wish me to do?
The harmonic collector's hooked into console 2. Once activated, it'll emit high-energy pulses to lure the creature in.
What is the next step?
Once the creature gets here, close the gates. The controls are on console 1.
What is the next step?
Quickly, activate the containment field, console 3. We did it. Now what took you so long to find me?
The investigation was actually quite short in duration. Apparently your absence was not keenly felt. Constable Lixie had attributed your absence to a field trip.
She was probably still upset that I accused her of smuggling. I suppose I should apologize to her, now that I know Idia was behind the whole thing.
How did Consultant Idia learn that you suspected him? Did you accuse him of smuggling as well?
I didn't confront him. I was just looking for information. But after I asked him about the Sultas, he must have panicked and decided to drug me. I should have suspected when he invited me to dinner. He hates to hear people talk while he eats.
It appears the Watchers knew nothing of Idia's scheme to smuggle rare animals into the preserve through Aramut.
They were the ones who brought the Mistag boar to my attention in the first place. They weren't smuggling anything.
Apparently, Consultant Idia underestimated this reptile's appetite for electrical energy.
That egotist, thinking he could get away with it. Some of these animals are even from Romulan space. Did he think I wouldn't notice?
Are you certain the animals are Romulan in origin?
It would take more tests to be certain, but they definitely came from Romulan space. It's not surprising. Aramut does a lot of trading along the neutral zone.
What will happen to this reptile?
I'm sure Constable Lixie will want to send it back, unless I can convince her to keep it here. A creature like that doesn't come by every day.
I believe the captain will want to pursue Idia and Aramut. Will this incident significantly delay completion of the preserve?
It'll be a little behind schedule, but I have a few suggestions to help them speed things up.
Then it is time we return to the Enterprise. Good luck, Doctor. Beam us up.
Captain's Log Supplemental. Our successful attempt to locate Dr. Hyunh Foerstch has uncovered another mystery. Apparently, the creature responsible for the chaos on Morassia may have come from Romulan space. We are currently searching for the Ferengi trader Aramut. Despite somewhat questionable trading practices, he has never violated Federation law. Until now.
Captain, Tabak asks to speak with you.
Captain, I heard about what happened on Morassia. That creature you discovered, it sounds exactly like a Verenak, a Garidian creature. Except the Verenak was exterminated long ago.
How could a Ferengi trader get hold of an extinct animal?
I have a theory. The followers brought many animals with them when they fled Gerid. It may be that this creature came from the followers' colony.
So if we learn where he got the animal, we may learn where the fifth scroll is.
I think this is a promising lead to pursue.
Captain, we've found Aramat. Our Ferengi trader should be at Jaward 3.
Set a course for the Jaward system. Engage.